How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 2, Episode 17, and this one's entitled The Shrine. This is from February 9th, 1986, and is directed by Christopher T Welch. This episode stars Lorna Luft, Coleen and Virginia Keehne, and the teleplay is written by Jule Selbo based on a story by Pamela Sargent. And in this story, a woman returns home, and you can tell that she's kind of got a complex relationship with her mother, who she's not seen in a long time. However, her mother says, "You're staying in the guest room, not your old room," but when she sneaks into her old room, she sees that the mother's kept everything exactly as it was. She's essentially turned it into a shrine, hence the title there. However, things get a little mysterious when she finds out that her mother's spending a ton of time in her old room, but then she starts to hear the voice of a small child coming from her old room. Who's this kid in there? What's going on? And that's sort of the setup for this episode. Overall, this is a pretty good episode. I'll try not to spoil exactly, what happens towards the end, but when you find out what's inside of a room, that's a pretty interesting reveal, It's this idea that you can take a concept, and this sort of concept is, what role do your parents have in your life as an adult? And you can take that and turn it into a Darkside horror story with a pretty creepy and original villain that fits directly into the theme of the story. And it does this good balance of horror with meaning, a cool villain, but totally has a point. So this is an episode that's not just haha, cheesy horror, whatever, which of course is always fun and I totally like, but this is a bit of an episode that's a bit of social commentary. They analyze this situation from a bunch of different angles, and overall it's really cool. The idea that you would grow up and that you would be flawed and you'd be dealing with blame and trying to come to terms in some sort of acceptance, and also really with your mother just being gone for a long time. How does she take that? And we get to see with both of these characters, they're both flawed in some ways. The mother and how she copes with missing her daughter, and how the daughter's trying to sort of come to terms with her life and what it is now. It is really interesting, So a good Darkside episode with commentary, but also just great fun horror. So overall, I'd have to say definitely a memorable episode from this season. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and talk a bit about the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what this episode is about. We open up on a dark and stormy night, as with a lot of the best horror stories, a dark and stormy night. And we hear this woman banging on the door, "Mom, it's me, let me in." And the woman is at the table falling asleep, and she starts to stir and let her daughter in, and we can tell right away that there's a little bit of awkwardness and a little bit of tension. They're talking. There's an allusion to her breakdown and how, the mother's kind of worried about her, but she was just late. She got off her job at the bank, and then it started raining, and for the last 40 miles, she had to drive through this thick rain, and now she's coming home later than she meant to in the middle of the night. Anyway, her mother says, "Go and stay in the guest bedroom. I have that all set up for you." And she's like, "The guest bedroom? Wouldn't I just stay in my own regular room?" And the mother's like, "Nah, don't go in there," tries to keep her out of that room. It's just storage. I knit in there sometimes. It's nothing really. However, she will eventually sneak in there and find that the mother was lying. The room is exactly as it was when she left, preserved perfectly, and things are still like on the desk where she left them. The shrine, you know? But anyway, later throughout that night, she starts to hear a little girl's voice coming from that room. Who's that little girl? There shouldn't be any child living here. And the mother will say, oh no, it's just the radio. Don't worry about it. She finds out through a neighbor friend, someone who was a friend with her when she was a high school girl, that the mother's actually spending a lot of time in the bedroom, her old bedroom. She can tell because the light's on. What is she doing up there? And after that, we get her brother coming over for dinner. Now, I do kind of wonder, you know, she's coming back to her hometown. The brother's coming over, kind of a family reunion. I do wonder what prompted this. Like, really, this isn't a holiday episode, but you think it would be. Like, this really could, with just a slight reskin, become a Darkside Christmas episode. She's over for Christmas. That would make sense. Or even Thanksgiving. But I don't really know why they're all coming over to see Mother. I mean, you can come over to see your mother whenever you want, but I kind of feel like this could have had a holiday attached to it. But anyway, the brother comes over, and they do have a really good and interesting heart-to-heart. She starts to, you know, talk about how she had a breakdown, and she has to recover and accept herself after that. But also, she feels the mother didn't like that she had the breakdown, because having that big a flaw, she feels the mother thinks that that implies she's a bad mother. If she had been a better mother, she would never have had a breakdown, right? And we don't know if the mother really thought this or not. We also get on top of that, she has no husband, and she also has no kids. She has an okay but not a great job, and she has a small house. So she feels that her life isn't the best, and she feels that her mother might be judging her for this. Why isn't my daughter doing better? And boy, you talk about Darkside being a little bit ahead of its time, huh? Anyway, the brother, of course, is a really good bit of emotional support for him, and they wind up hugging it out. A really good ending to this scene. But she does still hear those voices in her room, and one day the mother decides to go out, and she is going to go into that room and confront whatever's in there. And I don't want to exactly spoil what happens when she goes in to confront. A lot of you guys, not just me talking about it, but just seeing the episode, I think a lot of you can generally guess what's going to be in there. Especially if you read the episode description, but I'll leave it vague for my own purposes, even though a lot of you are probably guessing it. But when they do show it, though, I do wonder, what exactly is this thing? Because you can read it in a few different directions, and I have my own ideas as to what exactly it is, but I'd be curious to see your interpretations as to how exactly that thing got in that room. But overall, a really cool Darkside villain, a really interesting, again, fits directly into the morality tale, but also just creepy, you know? And I really do like it. And I said with my review for the last episode, Printer's Devil, that big publishing agent that was so maniacally evil, and now we get another, very different though, good Darkside villain. So 2 good villains in a row. I really do love that. And yeah, just a fun climax facing off against this thing, coming to terms with the relationship with your mother, and hopefully coming out the other side okay, but you'll have to watch the episode to find that out. Overall, I really did enjoy this episode of Darkside. Again, a really cool concept mashed with a really good monster. It's good horror, but it's also a good, you know, social analyst piece, you know? Anyway, To everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. I've talked about all the past episodes, so if there's an episode you want to see me review that happened before this one, you can probably find that there. I did a Season 1 overview, covered the Joe Hill comics and the Christmas episodes early. So this playlist is getting kind of long, so if you want to see more Darkside, that should pop up there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.